Let's talk about a question that once you really get the answer can literally change the entire course of your life. And that question is, why are we so incredibly afraid to just ask for what we want? Let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? That moment where you absolutely need to speak up, maybe ask for help or just say what you need, but the words, they just get caught. They get stuck in your throat. Well, here's a truth I really want you to hear. If you're not getting what you want in life, it's probably not because you're unworthy. It's because no one ever taught you how to ask. And this is the part you really have to get. This fear, it isn't some personal weakness. It is not your fault. It's actually a biological response, something that's hardwired right into the basic architecture of your brain. So let's look at the actual science behind why we stay silent. Okay, so say hello to your amygdala. Think of it as this ancient alarm system deep inside your brain. For our ancestors roaming the savannah, this thing was absolutely essential. It was the part that would scream, "Run, lion!" But here's the crazy part. Today, that exact same alarm can go off when you're just thinking about asking for a raise. So what's going on here? Well, here it is. This is the scientific breakthrough that changes the entire game. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains process the sting of social rejection, the fear of hearing no, in the exact same parts of the brain that process physical pain. So that fear you feel, it's not just in your head. It's a real, measurable neurological event.
And you can see it right here. It's wild, isn't it? Whether someone turns down your request or you accidentally slam your hand in a door, the same neural pathways just light up. So the next time you think to yourself, asking for this feels so painful, you are not exaggerating. To your brain, it literally is painful. And that's not a feeling you should just ignore. It's a biological signal we need to understand. So, if this response is wired into all of us, why does it feel so powerful, so intense for so many of us? Well, to answer that, we have to look back. We have to look at our own personal history, at how this fear was carefully programmed into us, one experience at a time, usually starting when we were very young. Just think back for a second. Do any of these feel a little too familiar? That time in school you raised your hand, gave the wrong answer, and you heard the class laugh? Or maybe at home you tried to express a need, and you were told you were being too demanding or selfish? Or you asked a friend for help and just got shut down? Every single one of these moments, it was a lesson, a really painful lesson.
And what do all those little cuts, all those painful experiences add up to? Well, they build a core belief system, a dangerous little program that runs silently in the background of your mind. And that program tells you one simple thing. Bolna khatarnak hai, chup rehna surakshit hai. Speaking up is dangerous. Staying silent is safe. Now, to really overcome this, we have to dig deeper. We have to understand what we're really afraid of when we hesitate to ask, because it turns out the fear isn't just one simple thing. It actually operates on 3 different layers. Let's peel them back. I want you to think about the last time you held back from asking for something. What was the fear, really? Was it just about hearing the word no? Or was there something else hiding underneath that? Something a little deeper, a little more personal. Okay, let's break this down because this is the absolute key. At the very top, you have this surface layer. This is the obvious star, the fear. They might say no, it's a simple risk. But if you go one level deeper, you find the middle layer. This is about social judgment. They'll think I'm weak or I'm going to look incompetent. But then you get to the bottom, the core fear. This is the antarik wichwash, the deep inner belief. And the fear here is that a no isn't just a no. It's proof. Proof that confirms our deepest insecurity that maybe, just maybe, we are unworthy or unlovable. So we've got the science, we've got the psychology, but, understanding is only half the battle. How do we actually change this deep-seated programming? Well, the really good news is that our brains are changeable. Just like we learned this fear, we can actively retrain our brain to have a different response. Have you ever been in a situation where you're trying to ask for something really important and your mind just goes completely blank? You start to stammer, your heart is pounding out of your chest. That is a real thing. It's called an amygdala hijack. That ancient alarm system we talked about literally hits the panic button and floods your system, shutting down the logical, rational part of your brain that you need for speaking. And I need you to really, really hear this. That freezing response, it is not a character flaw. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a biological reflex, plain and simple. And the most beautiful thing about reflexes, they can be retrained. You can, with practice, completely rewire this entire response.
So here it is, your simple 3-step plan to start that rewiring. Step 1, start small. Chote se shuruat kare. And I mean tiny. Ask a stranger for the time, or ask for an extra napkin at a restaurant. The goal isn't to get what you ask for, it's just to practice the act of asking. Step 2, observe your body. Apni body ko observe kijiye. Right before you ask, you're going to feel that fear. Your heart might race. Instead of fighting it, just notice it. This creates a little bit of space between you and the feeling. And finally, step 3, the most crucial one, act despite fear. Dadge bavajud action le. You take the action even while you're feeling the fear. This is how you prove to your amygdala that this situation isn't actually a threat.
So, what's your key takeaway from all this? It boils down to a single, simple action. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to make just one small, low-stakes request today. That's it. Remember, the goal is not to get a yes. The goal is to prove to your brain that you can ask and you will be perfectly okay. And that really brings us to our final and most important point. The goal here was never to become fearless. You can't. Fear is a part of our biology. The real goal is to become courageous. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action in the presence of fear. And that single choice, made over and over again, is the key that will unlock the life you've been waiting to ask for.